Hey everybody, this is Shino. I was kind of thinking about some stuff that's happening in our society nowadays that a lot of people are really, I wouldn't say people are necessarily ignorant to, but that it seems as though don't really click in people's heads, right? Especially when it comes to things like sex and sexuality, etc. Just like things like that, right? I was basically talking to an old friend of mine, or in quotes, friend, right? And like they were talking and telling me that I was hating on women. And I was like, why do they think I'm hating on women? And then I noticed that they were criticizing something that I had wrote earlier. Um, and it basically said, if you're a man who buys nudes from women, then, just get the hell out. I said it pretty comically, but I was like, get the hell out, because our sons need good women too. And so my thing is a lot of people don't understand that degeneracy has a generational effect. So say that you have women that tend to be horrible mothers. They have a whole bunch of unprotected sex with dudes that they don't even have an emotional attachment to at the very least. And then they go and then they have all these kids, and then this person or this mom just gets hooked on drugs. And then you have like a whole bunch of drugs and, self destructive behavior that is set in this family. And then the side effect of that is, these people, they have kids, and then their kids grow up without a loving mother, a mature mother, a mother that's understanding, a mother that can pass on wisdom to their children and actually raise them. And so you have a whole nother generation that's completely lost. And it's pretty unfortunate when you consider the repercussions of that, where you know nowadays you see all these women, they're talking about how they want a solid relationship, they want good men. And these good men these men, a lot of men nowadays, unfortunately, have grown up without a positive role model of a man in their lives, especially someone like me. I grew up without a father, and I was fortunate enough to have my mom, who tried her best to be the best parent she possibly could, and she still is the best parent. She's probably the best parent that I've ever seen. Honestly, like, yeah, I love my mom. Sorry, completely irrelevant. But these people, they have no um no understanding about life. They have no grasp on reality, and they don't have anybody to teach it to them. Uh, because of the previous generation's selfishness, the previous generation's ignorance, and the previous generation's lack of regenerate behavior or positive social or spiritual or whatever impact on society. And so it just creates a streamlining of people selling their bodies and thinking that it's okay, and not realizing or believing that it has any negative repercussions. You have people that are being raised, instead of by their parents, are being raised by the school system, are being raised by all these advertisements, that are being raised by freaking Lord knows what. You have what was it? Was it Cosmopolitan that was like it's okay to be fat and etc. Like they were like stretching. They had a picture of this black chick who was like stretching, and she had like she was just morbidly obese, and they were trying to say health at any age. That's not a thing. Or not, I'm not age, size, but that's not a thing. So you're telling me some 5'2", 600-pound woman is going to be able to keep up with me if I'm jumping hurdles? Me. If I'm jumping hurdles. You probably haven't seen it. I'm pretty short, but I'm stocky and extremely athletic by my own choice. But that's not, I'm not, I guess technically it wasn't talking about athletic ability, but that's still a good measure of health. If you can't walk from point A to point B, right? Just like do regular everyday things without constantly in being in pain, you're not healthy. Whether that's a physical, like you have some kind of birth defect, or whether you injured yourself or what, that's not necessarily a sign of objective health, But these people that are morbidly obese cannot function in the average realm of being a human being. Society teaches you that that's okay. Society teaches you that going out and having sex with all these people and just getting laid is just the greatest thing ever. Doing drugs is the greatest thing ever. Oh, if you're a female and you reject your husband, if you destroy your relationship with your family, if you tell your kids that they can do whatever they want, if you're not a good parent, you're apparently an empowered woman. You go out, you go to the bar, you get AIDS and herpes and gonorrhea, you're a fantastic woman. According to society, according to these big corporations, that's a complete rejection of reality. A complete rejection of reality. It does not matter what your political beliefs is. It doesn't matter what religion that you support or follow. That's a complete rejection of reality. A life like that doesn't exist, where you can do anything, whether good or bad, and it not have consequences in relation to what you do. It's cause and effect. You plant good seeds, you get good fruit. You plant bad seeds, you get bad fruit. And so people don't realize that. A lot of people, I'm only 22, but a lot of people don't have the understanding that these things aren't okay. Which is, why I don't really go out and I'm not like, I hate you because you're a complete degenerate, but I'm not going to completely um ignore the fact that what they're doing is degenerative, and I'm not going to support it, and I'm not going to tell people that I believe it's okay, and I'm not going to act like it's okay. Of course if some chick is like subscribe to my OnlyFans, I'm going to be like, no, back off, hoe, because you're a hoe. You're literally taking men or women, unfortunately, or women, and you're telling them that what they're doing is perfectly like you're telling them, you're not only encouraging these people to sell their bodies, right? You're also you're also taking advantage of people who are, insecure. You're taking advantage of like beta males, You're taking advantage of all these people that need some form of guidance and psychological help, and you're exploiting them for a representation of value. Money is worthless. Money can buy you things and it can exchange goods, but you can't eat money. You can't take dollar bills and weave clothes. You can't do, well, technically you could probably do a cosplay project. Technicality, smecticality, I don't give a damn. But you can't money is not worth your body, and when you put a price on your body, you become worthless, because money is completely freaking worthless. Once the economy crashes, people are going to realize how worthless the dollar is, and I can bet your bottom dollar that there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be like, wow, I sold out my best friend for money. Wow, I showed people my body. I had sex for money. Wow. Like, oh my gosh, I'm worthless. And then they're going to commit suicide. And it sucks that they just all these there's all these things that that people don't realize, that are just so toxic and detrimental to human existence, and they're just going around running rampant trying to figure things out without any guidance, and then any kind of actual and legitimate wisdom they reject. They're like, no, because this doesn't make me feel good. And that is a big reason why parenting is so important, because you need to teach their kid that it doesn't matter if something makes them happy or sad, that if it's right, it's right, and they need to do the right thing, right? You know, not don't brainwash them into some Gestapo dystopian bullcrap. I'm talking about, if something is right, if something is moral, something is just, then it doesn't make. For instance, give me a second. For instance, if someone does you wrong, right? The right thing to do would to be, obviously distance yourself from that person if need be, but to forgive them. because everybody makes mistakes, right? And that will give your child the ability to not only understand and humble themselves and be like, okay, I'm imperfect, I want someone to forgive me, so I'm going to forgive other people and treat them right, right? Not only will that do that for your child, but people will start forgiving people more. People will gain more wisdom and more understanding of the balance of good and negative situations. People will be more wise. People will be more prone to seek wisdom. People will ask more questions if you just teach people the basics of morality. And no one does that anymore. Morals are out the window. Nothing is moral anymore. Nothing is about morals. It's all about emotion. Oh, this gives me an erection. It must be good because it's setting off dopamines. No, it's not good. It has severe repercussions. And it's just like the state of modern society, especially when it comes to things of a sexual nature, are just so broken. It's so broken, man. I've seen 11-year-olds talk about how they're transgender. Are you what? 11-year-olds? You know what I was doing when I was 11? I was staying up late trying to sneak on the computer so I could play Roblox. If you don't know what Roblox is, it's a Lego game. No, that's not a Lego game, but it's like a block game. It's a game supposed to be made for kids. But if your kid is 11 and talking about what makes them happy between their freaking genitals, or whatever they believe, because they don't believe anything. When you're 11, you're a complete dumb. You're dumb as hell. You're dumb as hell. You don't know anything. You're a kid. You're ignorant, and you're supposed to be in that stage where your parents are molding you into a moral being, and urging you to seek truth, instead of just telling you everything. You have to go look it up, go do your research, go function as you would need to function as an adult. That's what you're supposed to do when you're raising a kid at a young age. No, kids are trying to get with like 30-year-olds. Kids are trying to look like they're adults. Kids are wearing makeup. Kids are shopping at trying to shop at Victoria's Secret. Kids are uh telling their parents they're gay. Like, no, no, shut up. Shut up. You are not old enough to make those decisions, and not you're not even old enough to understand these decisions, especially when you consider that grown ass people don't even understand these decisions clearly. Clearly they don't, or half of them would not make them, you know? And it's just everything is just such a convoluted mess. But hey, the first step to fixing all this is, first off, hold your ground. When you know and you completely understand something is right and moral, don't back down to these people. They don't know what the heck they're talking about. They're a byproduct of corporations and rich people who want them to who want to use them to further their own goals, whatever it may be in society. These people are completely brainwashed into thinking that what they believe is right, and these people have not once went to do actual legitimate research on the way that they live. They've done no spiritual research, no moral research. They don't know anything of what they're talking about. So don't feel pressured when someone tries to call you some kind of istophobe or whatever. Don't feel pressured. Realize that you're right and you know why you're right. And if you don't know why you're right, do research, do some statistical research, do do research on the way human beings work. Understand these things and realize that you're right. Know that you're right. Find out that you're right. Don't just claim that you're right. I see a lot of people, especially like I see a lot of Republicans or whatever. They're like, I'm right, you're wrong. And whether they're right or not, these people don't know why they're right. Find out why you are right. The second comes back to children. These other generations, for the most part, they're pretty much lost. Cut your losses. Don't argue with people who don't want to listen. Focus on the kids. Go out to your community. Teach these kids how life works. Teach these kids to be kids and to play like kids. Ingrain into their head things that need to be taught to children these days. You don't go out and you need to like be a part of your community. Sorry, I can't talk. Be a part of your community. You know, these kids need to find out the truth. They need to know what real love is. They need to know these things before they end up growing up and just being a repeat or worse, because as time passes things only get worse. So you think things are bad now? Imagine living in an idiocracy where everything is falling apart, the economy is crashed, and everybody thinks the pinnacle of life is ejaculation. They think watching porn is just like the best thing life has to offer. Imagine living in such a dystopian society where people don't know what a seed is, no one provides for themselves, everything is ran by technology, and everyone believes that the height of human existence is busting a nut. Like, I mean, to be fair, I probably wouldn't disagree with them sometimes, but that. Sorry, shut up. But it's it's crazy. That's you have to get kids to understand, you're not going to fix a lot of these adults. You're not going to fix their brain is developed. They can figure it out or die. Not saying that someone's going to kill them, but a lot of these people don't realize that their lifestyles generally lead to death or some kind of prolonged suffering. And so you have to help the kids. You have to save the children. You can't focus on dumb debates with people that you know are stupid. Focus on the children. Save the children. All right. Well, this is a really long rant. uh thank you for listening. Depending on the feedback that I get from this, I'll definitely look into continuing things like this. But man, I got into I didn't even get into an argument. I just pretty much stated the things that were wrong with women selling their bodies, and I started getting hate for it, and I had to respond. I think this was the best way to respond so that other people can come in contact with this type of thinking, just this cognitive ability to process stuff, and and realize that there are people in their 20s. There's people in every generation that are willing to uh, put themselves forward despite the scrutiny that they might see or witness or come into contact with, or however many people may hate them, or even threats of violence. I don't care, dude. Square up, roll up. Roll up. You're not gonna make it, but story for different time. Thank you for listening, because I'm not really putting a video up, but I appreciate your support, and later.